you and welcome to the second talk of the day, of the evening. It's devoted to product thinking. And my name is Vasiliy Popov. I work in this company, but I also do a lot of other stuff in UX and product management and product consulting. So hopefully I can share some experience with you. I would like to invite everyone who's standing. You can just find the seats here. There are a lot of empty seats, so you can just don't be shy and join the rest of the group. Anyway, I'm going to talk about product thinking and product validation. And to be honest, when Anders approached me to give a talk about this at DevClub, I was really skeptical at first. Like, developers are not known as the most product-friendly bunch, right? And usually developers look down on product managers, on product owners, and those are the people who talk bullshit in general. So yeah, let's talk bullshit together today. I'm probably going to cover a lot of things that Roman has said in his talk, but maybe from a different perspective, so let's see if it combines in a nice system. And so back to products. Generally, people are kind of really suck in creating products, and developers more so. And this is not, you guys don't take offense. It's just this is how we are wired. We don't really care about others. In general, we don't understand the bigger, broader context unless we are forced to think about it. So when we kind of have an idea, we think if we like it, then other people will like it. If someone likes it, then sure, then there will be more people who like it. And surely, when you build something, and I assume a lot of you want to start your own product or your own startup, or you have an idea that you want to develop. So if you build something and you're like, okay, great, I'm gonna do something amazing now. And if there's someone who accepts your idea, you think, yeah, great, I made it. But some people is not enough. You need a lot of people to actually make a great product. Because products, they need to be popular and make money eventually. So I'll start with product thinking. And product thinking at first sounds a lot like very popular term, design thinking. I think it was mentioned today. And they are similar, but not the same. Design thinking focuses on people, on humans, and on human interaction, on usability, on a lot of those things. Product thinking focuses on the outcome. And the idea of product thinking is to allow you to build a great product for those humans. I mean, it basically answers the question of what, right? If we talk about design thinking, we're building like how and what exactly, but here we focus on the outcome. And if you Google product thinking, this is what comes as a definition. Product thinking is a problem-solving methodology for developing valuable solutions for user problems. It's pretty easy to understand, I think, at least to me, but let's unpack it and try to understand what it actually means. It's a known fact that 9 out of 10 startups fail. I mean, even more so, I think. It's like established today. And according to failure exit interviews with startup owners, the #1 leading reason and the mistake for startup failure was the lack of product market fit. I hope that some of you know what it is, but we'll talk more about it. So, yeah, that's the quote from that research, but finding product market fit is the actual goal of product thinking. So you take all the methodology around product thinking and you arrive to a great product market fit for your idea, for your service, for your solution, whatever you have in your mind. And a lot of products, a lot of startups, they start with like an idea in founder's head. Oh, what if we, and then what follows is usually a great feature or or something like one of the examples is, what if you create a smart fresh juice squeezer that operates similar to coffee capsules? Like, yeah, you create a juicer without any mess, and it's a good idea, potentially, yeah? So this visionary maybe finds a group of like-minded individuals, or he infects them with his enthusiasm, and he talks about, like, this is the greatest idea ever, we're gonna make millions. I mean, think about it. A glass of fresh juice in the morning, every morning, without any mess. You just press the button and you have a fresh juice. You don't have to clean your juicer afterwards, you don't have to buy fruits or vegetables for your juice, so great. And tech people look at him like, yeah, maybe he knows what he's talking about. So, and tech people, they like challenges. So they're like, okay, great, let's find out how we can actually build this idea. And the idea is that they also get money from investors, because investors are also infected by the enthusiasm, and they look at the coffee industry and they see, okay, coffee capsules are booming, so we can do the same for juice, no? So they go and they build the product, they spare no expense, they invest a lot of money, they create the best product possible. And maybe some of you know already, this is one of the most famous failures in Silicon Valley history, called Juicera. Juicera was a smart, connected squeezer for juice packs, single-use juice packs. So you put the juice pack there, and it just basically squeezes the juice out of it. And it was connected to Wi-Fi, it had a QR code scanner, it had like a ton of torque there to actually squeeze those packets. And it cost just $700. They reduced the price later to $400, but it didn't save them. In the review of Bloomberg, they made a troll video where they show that you can just basically take the pack and squeeze by hands. And that's it. You don't need the complicated juicer, you don't need the complicated machine. You just squeeze it by hands, and that's it. And the company that got $120 million of investments was very soon over. So back to the product market fit. Essentially, it all boils down to this. There's the company, they say, we have a product, we want to ship X, right? And then there's the market with users, and users say, we actually need Y. Product operates in the solution space, and market lives in the problem space. And usually there's a gap between them. And the goal of product thinking is to reduce that gap so the business actually ships Y. And that's the whole idea. So we want to make sure that we actually build what the users want and not what we think they want. And this is how I like to define product thinking. Product thinking is the journey from the problem space of the users to the solution space of the business. And the goal of this journey is to reduce the gap between users and business. There's a famous description for startups and products like Juicera. It's a solution in search of a problem. And it's basically one line to describe why most of startups fail. They create solutions in search of a problem. And the thing is, I've personally been there. I've witnessed that firsthand. I built products, and it was a great product, and there was a great team, and only it didn't work. I mean, it worked fine, but there were no customers. Nobody was interested that much. People were like, yeah, we like it as an idea, but maybe. And we were, the whole team was in this constant state of disbelief. Like, how this can be? It's a great product. Maybe the audience, maybe the users are stupid. Maybe we just need to build one more feature. Maybe we need to add that thing that the other guy the other day spoke about. And when we add that thing, he will start using it, and then it will all blow up, and it will create, and it will be a viral effect, and the product will finally launch. Well, the thing is, you can always spot when there is no product market fit, and founders, and especially tech people, they get so invested and so in love with features. Like, the more features, the better. Every single feature adds the value. I mean, I think that was covered as well here today. And they never stop themselves and ask themselves, I mean, is there a problem that we're actually solving with those features? And if you ever said the thing that I want to create an X that does Y, you're missing the whole point of building a product. What you need to be saying is, I want to tackle problem Z by potentially creating an X that does Y. So you start with the problem, and that's the essential part. I think I provide UX and product consulting services for about 10 years, and companies of different sizes approach me, and usually they ask to help with either UX, which is another beast, or they help to flesh out the idea they have for a product. And the first question I always ask them, what is the problem you're solving? In 10 times out of 10, they don't have one. Maybe there is a real problem, but they never thought about that. They just had a great idea of a feature or functionality of a service or whatever. Or maybe they saw a competitor and they say, okay, we can do better. We can just do what they do, but better. And yeah, well, I still can continue to ask, I mean, what is the problem? But usually they problem? Who needs problems? We have great solutions, so why do you talk about problems? So here's the important mantra of product thinking, like love the problem. You need to speak about problems. You need to infect people with understanding that the problem is important. Yes?
You don't believe in creating demand by providing something new?
Yeah, build it and they will come, right? That's I don't remember who said that, but sometimes you can create a product that is great and amazing and wonderful and aluminium, and everyone will come and use it, right? It doesn't really work like that. You still need to understand the problem you're solving. I mean, maybe none of the users you will talk to will understand that they have a problem, but you as the entrepreneur, as the creator, as the founder, you will see that problem. And
so you think that the problem is like the need there, right? Like in broader sense?
In the broader sense, yeah, but we will cover some practical aspects of how to arrive at problems. Yeah, so as a takeaway, that's a good list of things to consider why you need to start with the problem first and not with the solution first. So if you start with the solution first, you will spend all your time trying to convince people that it's great. If you start with the solution first, you will get stuck in something obsolete that never helps anyone, and you will actually stop innovating because you will be stuck in your head with your solution. But if you start with a problem, you have a freedom of create multiple solutions. I mean, you have one solution, the second solution, maybe then tomorrow you'll find something else. And if you start with a problem, you don't fall with your idea. You pick the best one. That's also important. And yeah, you have opportunities to truly innovate. In the past, I was approached a lot, not a lot, but at least 3 times I was approached by people with money or with a team, and they say, we want to build an SS.com killer. I think everyone knows what SS.com is in Latvia, right? Even expats will come here. Yeah, so it's, and they think, okay, we can do better, because SS makes money, and people hate SS in general, right? So yeah, let's, why not build a competitor, a killer, and just do that? So as a like ideation round, so let's throw your ideas at me. How would you build an SS.com killer?
Kill the SS.com.
Okay, definitely long run, like everything strategy. It's about marketing. It's not about product.
Okay.
You take the problems that it doesn't solve and you solve them.
Okay.
Introduce painkillers for users.
Painkillers for users. Okay.
Redirect all users to your own site.
Sorry?
Redirect all users to your own site. Maybe this is something like that.
You probably cannot do that legally, but yeah, that's the solution. But if you talk about problems that it doesn't solve, so what problems does it doesn't solve?
Convenience.
Convenience. What about convenience? So what convenience?
There is problems with
Filtering, advanced
Yeah,
filtering, for example, notifications. So there are a bunch of features that could be useful. I'm not saying these are killing SSCOM, but they could be liked by users. The question is how much effort.
I actually
is
saw such a case. There is a big company. I'm from Belarus, and we had like old-fashioned each portal based, like similar to this one, and the European country beat them, but it took them 10 years, and now they're the leader. But it was a strategy, like 10 years of building.
Yeah. So yeah.
And
We'll move on. There's no answer, because in the Latvian market, you basically cannot do the justice features, and usually people started with convenience. Okay, we'll introduce notifications. We'll add create mobile clients to do that. We'll add filtering and sorting. We'll add, I don't know, email newsletters with the great new products that you're looking for, whatever.
I think, okay, I heard that Facebook groups are taking over some market share from SSCOM, and I think what it adds is certain trust that SS.com lacks.
Free ads, finally.
Free ads, yeah.
Just one question maybe. Does SSCOM has API for enterprises? I mean, it's been convenient for just regular users, but does it provide anything
No,
for
It has RSS. Just in case.
And SS.com is famously a very bad company with a very bad customer support and with a lack of any respect for the customers. But anyway, the problem with SS.com and Build to be Killer for SS.com is that it doesn't really have that many big problems for customers. So if you think about what our customers of SS.com have as a problem, as a main problem, they want to sell something. So their number one problem is they want to sell something, and other people, they probably want to buy something. So what people who want to sell something, they want to sell it as quick as possible. They want to reach as broader audience as possible. SS.com has the broadest audience in Latvia. So any competitor you would need to build, it needs to be like available on day one for all the people, and all the ads should be there. So it's like a chicken and egg situation. So you don't come to the ads portal if there are no ads, and you don't post anything to ads portal because there are no people who come in there. So I always spoke to those guys who wanted to build a killer. I said, forget about the features. I mean, nobody cares about the features. People will still post to SS.com. You will either need to do it a long run, like really, really long run, and your money will run out, or you will need to have a marketing campaign where your new portal will be on every billboard in country for a month, and even that will not be enough. So basically, that's the paradox of SS.com. Yeah.
It didn't work out. Zip.all by jogging, so
Yeah,
billboard.
some companies they try. There's Inch.LV or something. They try to sell real estate only. They focus on houses and apartments. But yeah, it didn't work. So the idea is that people came about SS.com and said, I have this solution, but they didn't think about the problem at first. And the problem in general is people want to sell something. So yeah, Facebook works, but Facebook has money, and they don't really care because they created a worldwide platform. I mean, people use it there. There's also like some community-based like Andala Mandala or something when they started quickly, slowly organized around idea of selling clothes and then move to other things. But I think everyone knows that you cannot sell like a computer on Andala Mandala quickly. You will sell it quicker on SS.com. People just don't care about that. So yeah, your features are not your product. The product is much more than that. And I want to do a quick sidetrack to the dark side of the moon and talk about business and why business exists. And business exists because they want to make money, right? And it's actually people with money who are the clients, and it's the people with money who we need to listen to, because your clients are not always your users. and even more so in the enterprise world, in Citico, EPAM, Cognizant, Emergent, I don't know about that company, but in general, when you work for enterprises, when you work for businesses, those are the people who write specs and pay you, but the users are a different group of people, and you will still need to cater to your clients. You need to cater to people who pay you, and that's unfortunate reality. Like a quick mental exercise: who are the clients of Meta and Google?
Advertisers.
Advertisers. And what problems advertisers have?
Audience.
Price out. It's
Targeting. Audience.
Targeting, profiling, ad blocks. That's all are problems that advertisers have. And these companies, they wanna solve those problems. Like the next time you complain about something in your Meta or Google tool, or if it's just killed unceremoniously and you used it for many years, just think about if this product actually solved any problems for their clients or not. I mean, this is great, like news of yesterday or a couple of days ago. Google proposes the way to actually kill ad block, like in general. I mean, they of course mask it as the web environment integrity explainer, basically digital rights management for websites. But yeah, it's everyone understands what it is. So follow the money. Another fun aspect of product development today is B2B, and it's really annoying cousin B2B2C. So whenever you develop something for business, all the things that I said so far and all the things I will tell about product validation still apply. The only problem there is that when you validate your product with businesses and not individuals, it is 10 times harder. So just keep that in mind when you approach that road. And I hope everyone understands what the nuances here. So business to business is usually companies that build platforms for other companies, and business to customers, sometimes these are companies that build white label solution for other companies that they will sell to their customers, but it's still a white label, so they need to think about UI and all the nuances of B2C. So yeah, for B2B2C, you're basically working for two products, and you need two dedicated teams, and you need a lot of money. Otherwise, just run. It's a nightmare. So we established that it's crucial to love problems and not solutions, and that product thinking is actually moving from problem space of the user to the solution space of the business. So how do we actually go down that road? What do we do? And well, first you validate your assumptions. So you have some assumptions about what problems users have, so you validate them. Then you dig into the customer segment you selected, or maybe you can do it as the first step, and you just research that customer segment to understand what are the problems there. Once you find the problems, you come up with solutions. And once you have those solutions, you start validate those solutions. That's very basic and very simple. And there are many tools that can help you with this. And before we discuss the tools, two very important notes. Many startup founders and owners are really arrogant, and usually they say we don't need any user validation. We don't need to think about users. I mean, because I, the founder, know better. These people are stupid. They don't even know that my revolutionary idea will change their lives. I will create something that basically from the future. And yeah, right. I call this Steve Jobs syndrome. And the important thing that people need to remember that, well, you're not Steve Jobs. And you need to do your research. Because basically, every time when you say, I know what my users need, you think you look like that. But in fact, you look like that. The second note I want to give is easy to understand, but very difficult to do for many people, is get out of the damn building. And if you look into any product management, product development, product discovery, book, guide, manual, whatever, it will say get out of the damn building, because there are no answers in your office, in your building, in your home. The answers are all out there because the clients are out there. And you need to be able to speak to them. And you need to be able to engage them. And the problem, of course, for IT people is that a lot of developers, they chose IT because they're introverts and they don't talk to people in general, or they just dislike the people in general. And unfortunately, if you want to build some great product, you need to be able to actually go and talk to people and ask them questions and engage them and ask their opinion. And even though you will hate it, I mean, it will give you a lot of valuable feedback. Okay, back to practical things. So as I said, there are a lot of different practices, tools, methodologies that you can do when you start your product thinking exercises in your team, in your company. And there's no one size fits all approach. You just pick and choose what you like. Here are just some of the practices that I personally like, and I use them sometimes successfully, sometimes not, but they helped, and I hope you can try some of them and you will just get the appetite for this thing, and you'll then be able to try something else and just embrace the process of product thinking. So let's start with jobs to be done. Roman mentioned that jobs to be done is amazing practice in general. It's a way of thinking about your products as something that people hire for to do the job. You form your kind of ideas in this sentence. When something happens, I want to do something so that I can achieve something. So you have situation, motivation, and expected outcome. There are two links here. I don't know if you can see them, but there's a great YouTube video, 4 minutes. The guy from marketing company, he talks about the general approach of jobs to be done. And the idea there is that they were hired by a fast food company to increase the sales of milkshakes. And the fast food company was doing all they needed to do. They did customer research, they talked to people, they asked what people wanted. So they increased viscosity of milkshakes, they added different tastes, they did whatever. It made zero impact on the sales of milkshakes. So these research companies, they spent like a day in a fast food restaurant, and they observed people who bought milkshakes. And what they found out that like majority of people bought milkshakes in the morning, and that was the only thing they bought. So they later asked those people, so why did you buy this milkshake? Why did you hire a milkshake? And they said, well, I have a long commute, I drive a lot, so my hand on the wheel, the second hand is kind of free, so I need to do something. And there's, I had some breakfast, but there's a lot of time until lunch, so I want to eat something. And banana is too quick, bagel or donut is crumbs, is greasy and crumbs, and it's not convenient to eat behind the wheel. So milkshake is the ideal product to hire for the job. The job was to actually do something in the car and get your stomach filled. So that is the essential exercise for you to try to start thinking about your product. So what is the job your product is hired for that will be done in the lives of your customers? And the MOMS test. It's an exercise to allow you better talking to your customers. Because many of us start with asking about our idea to our close friends, to family, to mom. And usually our friends are like, yeah, that's a great idea, man. It's fucking amazing. Like, because they like us. And the mom loves you, so she, of course, honey, I mean, whatever you say is genius because she supports you, she believes in you. But the mom test teaches you to talk to your mom so that she will give you actually real answers. So she will be honest with you. So you talk about her life instead of your idea. You talk about the past and decisions that she made in the past, instead of what you think she will do with your product in the future. So yeah, again, there's a 3-minute video explaining this idea, and there's a great great article, so you can check them out. Another model for talking to people is 5 Ws, 1 H, is what, who, why, where, when, and how. It's basically a list of questions that you ask to your users or potential customers, or if you just do research and you want to do a great automated juicer, you just go to people who actually like juice and you ask them those questions, and then you will be able to understand better if there's a problem or not. Once you establish some kind of problems, you can then try to solve them, and we move to the solution space. In the solution space, there's like one of the things, 6 solution models. It's minimize, maximize, transform, combine, modify, rearrange, and substitute. It's an exercise to do in a group. You just grab your team and just start thinking about what can be improved, what can be, if there's a problem, how can we solve it with transforming. So Uber for, like, combine, so you create a super app, like modify and rearrange, so how we move from Evernote to Notion, and so on and so forth. Again, I'm not going to go deeper into this, I'm just giving you tools and you can research them. Once you establish a solution, it's very important to frame your solution as a valid hypothesis. So that's a very simple template. So the idea here is that we believe that building this product for these people will achieve this outcome. And we will know if we are successful when we see this signal from the market. The important thing here is that hypothesis should include the measurable result and the measurable goal. If you don't have this, you're just building pipe dreams, you're just building castles in the sand and something pretty. You need to be able to know when to stop. Because again, 9 out of 10 startups fail, and you need to know when to stop, because you will just waste money. Lean Canvas is born out of Business Canvas, and it's part of Lean Agile, Lean Startup world. And it's another exercise to do in a group. So you have a bunch of founders, you have a bunch of creators, tech, everyone. So all the people who work on a product, you gather them in a room and you come up with this. So you write something in all the quadrants, but you don't do it once and forget. You do it regularly. So you do this, you then start your discovery, you validate your idea, you go back to this and you do another one. So in a year time, you should have 20 of those. And you will see how your idea progressed and how you pivoted multiple times. But you will be able to understand why. There's a variation, like Linear Canvas from Lean Stack, and this variation talks about coming up with innovations. So you use Lean Canvas to come up with innovations. And the way you do it, first you start with customer segments. Like, where do you want to innovate? Which segment? You take that segment, then you look, okay, who can be early adopters? Who will be the people who will love your product? You can start with. You take those early adopters, and then you look at what these early adopters use today. In that segment, what some of the early adopters use as the products today. And when you look at those products, you understand what kind of problems those people actually have. Because products are hired to do a job. Products are hired to solve a problem. So that is the backwards way to come up with some ideas of how you can actually infiltrate that market. Empathy mapping. Like, I see a lot of people in IT, in startups, they start with personas, and I personally hate personas. I think personas are stupid. And if I don't ever see another persona in my life, I will be happy. But people are insistent on using them. But if you want to build like an alternative to persona, use empathy mapping. Just as a group, put this on the whiteboard and put post-it notes on it. Like, what do your customers think and feel? What do they see? What do they say and do? What they hear? What are their pains and gains? I mean, basically, you describe the person you want to cater to, and you will be able to understand, okay, what are the problems there? And after that, you move to unique value proposition canvas. which is another great exercise. I've done this with stakeholders, with IT people and with designers in one room, and people were really skeptical at first, but they walked out of the room like with mind blown. I mean, they never thought about some of the aspects they heard, and they never thought about framing their product as something that should be mapped to the gains and pains and jobs of the customer. So you start with the customers, as we established. Start with the jobs and gains, pains and gains, and then you map those to your product. You see if things you do, they actually address those things. And if you see that there's a correlation, then you're onto something. And design sprints. Design sprints were created by Google venture guys. It's basically venture capitalist fund from Google, and don't confuse it with Scrum and just creating like 2 weeks dedicated design exercise. No, design sprint is a very specific methodology that is meant to be done in 5 days with the business, with everyone, and it's very powerful. It's one of the most powerful exercises that I've done in my life with different companies. And it allows you to ideate, create, sketch, test and validate all in the space of 1 week. And even if you do just first 3 days and combine them into like, I don't know, 2 days, it's still possible. It will still be very valuable to make sure that all your stakeholders that you're talking to actually are on the same page. If you have partners in your startup and you argue all the time, just do this. You will be able to understand what is the thing you need to be doing actually. Once you have prepared a product, idea, hypothesis, whatever, so you have some sort of value proposition. So what is it you're selling to the customer? Before you start building it, test it. How to test it? These are some tools. Put online ads. Just basically put an online ad for a product that leads to the fake landing page. On the landing page there's a button, I want to subscribe. Record the number of clicks, record the conversion, change your messaging, see if it affects your conversion. And you don't have to write a single line of code. This is all done automatically these days. But you can actually do this, and you can gather maybe some emails from the customers who are interested in that project, and you can engage them and try to talk to them. So just don't waste money. I mean, there was a lot of money in Silicon Valley. There's much less money in Latvia. So yeah. Two online tools before I wrap up. Usabilityhub.com is one of the greatest and simplest things you can try. What it allows you to do is allows you to do these things here. 5-second test. You put your landing page or your screen or whatever you want, just static screenshot, in front of 100, 1,000 people that you target, like men, women, age, whatever. And they will look at it for 5 seconds. And after that, they will need to describe what they saw. Usually it works well for landing page. So if you build a product, you want to make sure the attention of your user who comes to the landing page is grabbed in the 5 seconds. Is that in 5 seconds time, they need to understand what is this that I'm looking at. Otherwise, they just move on. So this is the way to test if you actually have the right landing page. Preference test is just showing them 2 pictures, and they will choose one. It can be feature, poster, logo, whatever. First click test, the same. So landing page, where the users will click first and why. And prototype testing is just putting a bunch of screens together and putting people to click through them. Another tool is usertesting.com. It's an online service. It's much more expensive, but if you're in the position when you have some money, that is very valuable because you're actually getting to engage those people. In the previous one, it's a random and it's anonymous. You don't really know those people. Here you talk to those people. Those people have tools to record the sessions, how they use your application, website, desktop app, whatever. So they just go there, they record, they describe what they do it professionally so they can understand. And you can hire from different segments, from anything. And there's a lot of other things. But as I said, yeah, that costs like, not arm and leg, but quite a lot. So yeah, that's it from me. Edgars, how was it for time?
We have 5 minutes.
Okay, we have 5 minutes.
So you mentioned about the design sprint. So did you use it for the feature or for the product?
Both. I use it for both, but it's easier to use for features. It's more tailored for features, but you can still do it for products. When you start with ideas, and then people will sketch like ideas for a product. They can be very different, but then you can come up with the next steps.
Hi. So I'm engineer.
Yeah.
And I'm usually doing engineering stuff. Sometimes product people do all of this fancy stuff, come up with the problem, solutions, metric, and so on. And they ask me to do this feature. I hate it. I don't believe in it.
Okay.
What do I do? Do I accept a reality or fight it?
Well, I don't know about your product people. I hope that they know what you're doing. And if you assume that they know what they're doing, if your company pays you money, you do that feature.
God damn it.
Should the product manager sell this idea to an engineer? So he
I mean,
yeah.
it doesn't hurt. But remember what I said in the beginning. I mean, tech people and developers, they kind of suck in thinking about products in a broad way. If something works, who cares how it looks like, or how it works, or how many steps I need to take there, or if I need to go to the console and write this fancy script. I mean, it works, right?
Yeah.
Because they use it themselves and they don't care about other people. So that is the whole idea. Yeah.
Following the example, for example, do you engage, for example, engineers, the technical guys into the research? For example, you conduct user interviews when people can observe. So in order to sell them the idea, not to tell them what to do, but actually that everyone would understand
What we've done before is that we invited tech leads to observe user testing sessions. Or we used the usertesting.com when they send videos, and we showed those videos to engineers and architects. And usually it was screaming at the screen, like these stupid people, they don't understand it. I mean, it's right there, but that's the whole point. They will never understand. So you need to be able to build a product so they don't have to understand. So it's just automatic for them. Yeah.
Have you ever had cases where like you tried all the methodologies and then you ended up with a phrase like, okay, you will have to build it to see if it works?
Yeah, I have a picture for that. I think there's one meme that I didn't post. So there's one that I like. This one. There's another one. Where was it here? And unfortunately, that's the reality. I mean, I've been with companies where you go through exercises, and in the end, they just do whatever they thought they should be doing, and they don't care about the results. Yeah.
Okay, so you've showed us the cases when we kind of try to build something, and actually we don't know why we do it, right? And what are these are these approaches safe? Safe in cases like Theranos was the name of the biggest scam in Silicon Valley. What if we do all these things? We know there is a problem. We imagine a solution, and
no. If there's a scam, there's a scam.
If you come to engineers, they said, "Oh well, it's cool, but it's impossible." I mean, from technical perspective.
Sure, but then those engineers were paid money, and they continue to build the impossible. So they were just going through the investors' money, millions and millions. They were just spending those, and That's the whole reality. When you have an unlimited resource of investors' money, you can pay pretty unlimited money to any engineers, and whatever they tell you, you just explain to them, guys, we need to try, and they will continue trying.
Okay, so that's actually the case you're Steve Jobs, right?
Often, yeah. I mean, Steve Jobs was not super genius. I mean, he made a lot of products that failed. I mean, he was just very smart. So yeah.
I would like to turn this a little bit around. So you are in a situation where sales have already almost made a deal for a product that doesn't exist yet, but it has a value. Somebody's going to pay for it. So
Yeah.
we already scored for this, except there is no product. We cannot talk to users. We have customers. We don't have users. What are you? Well, when are we going to ship?
Well, you try to find people who are similar to your users, eventual users. I mean, you would.
So you take the deal.
Well, yeah, they pay money, no?
Okay.
I mean, come back to the original questions. I mean, unless you are in the altruistic fashion and you want to change the world, or you want to do something great and you want to work for a non-profit, which is really great cause. But a lot of us, most of us, work in companies for money because that's the definition of job. So we basically do the job, and if it goes against your principles, you say, oh, and just find another company. I mean, usually that's another one. But yeah, if it's okay with you, if they pay you money, just do it. I mean, I'm not trying to devalue the idea of.
Yeah, but would you modify your process, because like right now you have to throw your roadmap out, you have to start these things too.
I don't know.
How would you turn?
It depends.
I mean, I'm not talking hypothetical. These are real kind of.
I know.
If the customer is big enough, we're gonna make this deal. Yeah.
Wait. Like last one before Edgar stops me. I had this. I have this team of designers, and sometimes we work on like product features or UX features for some products. And sometimes customers come to us and say, we want to build this shit. And I'm then trying to convince them and explain to them that this is shit, so you don't have to build it. We go with maybe some exercises, maybe with just some empirical metrics or something. In the end, if they say, no, we still want to build this shit, I go back to my designers and say, guys, we are building shit today, I'm sorry. So that's what that's the only thing you can do. Thank you.